Red Bull have had an incredible season so far, but in Austria, they seem to lose the advantage they worked so hard to build. Max Verstappen lost a race for the first time this season just on race speed, and that has got Red Bull worried. Mercedes and Ferrari smell blood in the water and will look to capitalise on Red Bull's lost time in France. But what did Red Bull do that cost them 0.4 seconds a lap? And just how bad could things get for Red Bull in France? As Charles Leclerc crossed the line in Austria, he must have been incredibly relieved. His accelerator pedal was stuck on, meaning he was constantly applying 20% throttle even when he was trying to brake. The car must have been borderline undrivable, but at the Red Bull ring, Ferrari were finally faster than Red Bull, and he wasn't going to let something like a sticky throttle stop him from making the most of it. Not after all the races he's lost this season due to his pit wall's decision making. What was especially impressive about this win was that Ferrari hadn't done anything to their car for the Austrian Grand Prix, but Red Bull had. The updates Red Bull brought to Austria might have offered them more speed in theory, but they also added an estimated 10 kilograms of weight onto the Red Bull. What that did was make it impossible for Max Verstappen to control his tyre degradation while under pressure from Charles Leclerc early in the race. It was so bad that Max Verstappen had to pit on lap 12 to swap out his medium tyres for a hard set, while the Ferraris carried on until lap 24 on their starting mediums. What must have frustrated Red Bull further was that on the Saturday, Max Verstappen appeared to take a relatively comfortable win in the sprint race, but overnight things changed. The temperature dropped overnight and the rain came, which washed away the rubber on the track that had built up on Saturday. This meant the track was much more abrasive, causing more tyre wear, and cooler, which changed the tyre degradation mechanics. The tyres weren't overheating and suffering from thermal degradation as badly as they were on Saturday. Instead, the abrasive track surface was causing much more physical wear on Sunday, and this was a huge problem for the RB18. The problem might have been more obvious on the Sunday due to the track changing overnight, but the problem was evident in the sprint race as well. Max managed to open up a lead early in the sprint, but by the time he crossed the line, he was losing time to the Ferraris at a surprising rate. It wasn't just the change in tyre wear that was a problem. There was also a clear drop in the lap time gap between Ferrari and Red Bull in Austria, which was probably also caused by the Red Bull upgrades. If the estimates are correct and the upgrades left Red Bull 10 kilograms overweight, then they might have been losing up to 0.4 tenths of a second in lap time. What does this mean going forward then? Can Red Bull regain their lost speed in the upcoming Grand Prix? Well, they could just reverse their upgrades, but there must be a reason they fitted them in the first place. Removing them now and reverting to the car from before the Austrian Grand Prix might make things worse rather than better. Their aim for the French Grand Prix has to be to continue development and try to shed the excess weight, but apparently that may not be possible. They had planned to make upgrades to the car, but could be behind schedule, meaning they'll be stuck with the car from Austria in France. Honda F1 boss Masashi Yamamoto, who also works as a consultant for Red Bull, said that while the Ferrari looks strong, he believes the Red Bull power unit is more reliable. I think Leclerc was just faster. However, Max did a good job of holding on to second place and setting the fastest race lap, he said. Ferrari was indeed very strong, but if you look at the blown engine of Carlos Sainz, I think HRC and Red Bull powertrains is still better if we look at the overall performance and reliability. Of course, relying on your rival's engine failing to win races isn't a championship-winning game plan. Luckily for Red Bull, the Honda boss also believes the French track will favour Red Bull. I think France is more in Red Bull's favour, so we should go bang there, he hopes. How is it that Red Bull appear to have lost their advantage to Ferrari though? While France may be a good track for them, there's no denying that Ferrari have managed to play catch-up and close the gap to Red Bull on track. Even before Red Bull's Austrian upgrades added 10 kilograms to the car, losing them 0.4 seconds of lap time, Ferrari looked like they were becoming a real challenger to Red Bull. The difference is especially visible in straight-line speed, something that Red Bull dominated earlier in the season. Since the Spanish GP, Ferrari has improved its straight-line speed thanks to the new design concept of rear wings, with a DRS that has less drag when open. Leclerc managed to overtake Verstappen 3 times in Austria, and the champion was never able to fight back against the Ferrari despite having DRS. This is indicative of how much the Ferrari F175 has improved in this area. The development paths taken by Ferrari and Red Bull remain very different, in some ways even opposite. But Ferrari has largely stuck with its concept and has only brought in some small changes to reduce drag with updates. In addition to the rear wing introduced in Canada and later used in both Silverstone and Austria, Ferrari has tried to reduce drag by slightly increasing the uppercut in the underside of the side pods in a package introduced at Silverstone. Ferrari boss Matteo Binotto insists the Scuderia's latest upgrade has closed the gap to Red Bull after 2 successive race victories. "I think, in terms of pure speed, the cars are very similar, and quali is proving it," Binotto said. "I don't think there's much difference between the 2 cars. We simply reduced the gap. We closed the gap, we had more speed. I think they've still got a slight advantage, but very little or negligible. It's why, in the power, we are very close. Then it's only the grip limit in the cornering where we can make the difference." Ferrari have been making these little improvements around their core concept and have seen the dividends on track. Red Bull have bought big update after big update this season, messing with their aero design at almost every race. It seems like they aren't quite sure what the best decision is to develop their car, and instead are trying to develop everything at once. The speed of upgrades has been furious, but maybe Red Bull have been a bit like a charging bull. Head down and just a rough idea of where they want to go. Their upgrades may not have been as considered as is required in Formula 1. One team that do appear to have got their development direction sorted is Mercedes, and with Red Bull losing lap time in Austria, Mercedes are now a genuine contender for podiums on pure lap time. With the German manufacturer having got a better handle on the porpoising problems that blighted the early part of its campaign, it has been able to devote more resources in recent races to unlocking more normal performance developments. Team boss Toto Wolff said that a recent run of podiums showed the team was heading in the right direction, but said it still needed more. "We scored 3 podiums in the first 7 races, and we've now achieved 4 in the last 4, he said. "I'm pleased with the momentum we're building, and it reflects the mammoth effort of the team. Our understanding of the W13 is growing with every lap, and it's encouraging to see that reflected in our development and results. While we were quicker in Austria, we still weren't quick enough to challenge at the front. We need to keep changing those final few temps and bringing new developments to the car, including this weekend in France." The full scope of Mercedes upgrades will likely remain hidden, as Toto Wolff has claimed we won't be able to see much of the updates to the car in France. This may mean they made changes to the floor, but unless one of them needs picking out of the gravel at some point at the French Grand Prix, we'll never know. It is confirmed that they will be running a new nose on the cars this weekend though. The design features a different profile to the previous flatter version and appears more refined in its tapering as it merges with the rest of the nose structure. Mercedes has been chasing improved straight-line speed performance with its W13, and it could be the new shaped nose is an attempt to reduce drag. This weekend's French Grand Prix is viewed as one of Mercedes' best chances of grabbing a race victory this season, with the smooth track surface and the high-speed nature of the track perfectly suited to the characteristics of its 2022 challenger. With Red Bull losing lap time in Austria and Ferrari and Mercedes both looking like they'll have upgrades in France, there's a definite possibility that we could have our first 6-way battle at the front of the grid. Well, 5-way battle. After Carlos Sainz's engine set on fire in Austria, he's probably starting from the back of the grid. Nonetheless, Red Bull need to be careful. There is definitely still a fight going on in both championships, and if they can't get their upgrades sorted and their car down to the minimum weight of 798 kilograms, they might see one or both championships slip away. Want to know more about the technical side of Formula 1? Then check out the video showing on your screen now.